Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only, and for those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law, and through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and also a short trading lesson at the end, so please stay tuned. In the previous video we looked at tick symbol OCGN, Oxygen. Unfortunately, after the positive news on the Friday, this has trended down on the trading days of Tuesday and Wednesday. And however, I am still confident of this stock going forward in terms of a positive recovery. So I think as far as I'm concerned, it's just a case of holding and waiting for the momentum to return. The other stock that featured in the previous video was tick symbol BIIB, Biogen. And this one has been showing some good recovery. On the previous day of trading, this was up just over 3% at $355. So please refer back to the previous video for that stock and details of Biogen. Today's stock analysis is for a new penny stock, which I'm going to introduce shortly later on in the video. This penny stock was first introduced in the Patreon, so if anybody's interested in receiving advanced information with regard to penny stocks and other stock picks, please refer to details of the Patreon in the description below. Before we do that, I'm going to start by having an update on tick symbol MMAT. What's happening? We have seen significant falls in the stock. There was positive movement upwards just around about the 6th of July when we had the news. So let's have a quick summary in terms of what were the outcomes of this presentation on the 6th of July. In terms of my overall opinion, I don't think there was an overall huge, great new catalyst that we may have been expecting, such as a Tesla announcement or dividend specific details or some new exceptionally good public relations with regard to the company. However, I'm going to share with you now some of the details that were released, and the first thing that they confirmed is, as a result of the merger, everybody who held shares on June the 24th will get the dividend, and the preferred shares will be based on the old oil and gas company, which was TRCH. So the company is currently in the process of distributing those shares to the brokers, and obviously I think we all know there has been a lot of delay in receiving the preference shares for many of us. So the entitled holders are to receive the dividend, depends on the net proceeds from the oil and the gas, and assets must sell before December the 28th 2021 and then distributed. So again, no specific date, but we have a final date. And the good news that I've picked up here in this statement is confirmation that there are oil and gas assets. So that's good news there that I've picked that up, because a lot of the bears out there have said there is no oil and there is no gas. So the company have confirmed now in this presentation oil and gas assets are going to be sold. Let's have a look at a summary of what George came up with in the meeting. So first of all, he confirmed that it is the first metamaterial company to trade on the NASDAQ, and this should give the company the benefit of access to greater capital markets, more awareness, and also an opportunity to seek broad opportunities in complementary tech. The other thing he also came up with in terms of the business, that they can now produce 1 meter plus wider rollers, increase production capacity, and become much better than competitors. In terms of the relationships and with other companies, he's saying the areas of interest are holography, lithography, wireless sensing, and also Meta. As far as Meta's concerned, he expects a market cap around about 10.7 billion by the year 2025. And if we move on and look at aerospace, he says they're looking at working in Meta Air, laser clear protection eyewear, unique requirements for pilots, solar technology, wireless communication, including 5G, radio wave reflection, and autonomous vehicles as well, in terms of film to stop fog, camera sensors to use nanoweb to keep clear and shield from EM interference. So again, good information there as far as the stock long term is going. Let's move on to have a look at what they said about medical space. So they're going to look at technology to improve noise of MRI, improve resolution, reduce the amount of time taken. They're also going to be working on glucose reading, non-invasive diabetes testing, wireless home hub with wearable element for overnight. Other announcements were also covering the geothermal industry, energy wells, alternative reality smart glasses, colour vision, biosensor development, point of care on phones. And finally, at the end, I think some of the key things I also picked up is that Meta is committed to expediting the process as much as they can in terms of receiving our dividends. It also has confirmed they have just in excess of $160 million in cash. They are virtually debt-free. They've signed a 10-year lease for a facility in Nova Scotia, which is around about 68,000 square feet. So what you may be thinking now, with all this positive news, with all this great outlook, with all these positive statements, why is the stock significantly down? So obviously we know there is a huge short interest in here. We do know the stock has got a huge amount of interest globally in terms of what's happened with the merger. I think the vast majority of people who invested in this late will have lost significant amounts of capital, especially if they didn't sell when the stock reached a high price. Right now, I think most investors are relying on the dividend. The dividend is going to be something that we are expecting to be significant in terms of compensating for the falling share price. However, anybody looking to hold this for long term, the statements on the 6th of July do give us a bit more confidence. I'm now going to move over to look at a stock analysis for the new penny stock now. This new penny stock is ticker symbol BCTX. Bricell Therapeutics. So if you have a look on the screen here, this is a stock that I first introduced to the Patreons a couple of days ago. So if anybody managed to invest in there, at that time when I first introduced it, this was trading at just below $5. My entry price in this is around about $4.93. So what were the reasons for investing in BCTX? So let's start by having a look at the company profile. So moving over to the company website, what we can see here on the About Bricell page is the company is trading on the Nasdaq, even though it's regarded as a penny stock. So the objective is to enhance the lives of women with breast cancer with limited therapy options. So the company's mission is to develop novel immunotherapies to fight cancer, and these are becoming the forefront of cancer treatments because they're using the body's immune system to destroy the cancer cells. So certainly a good objective there. They're offering potential for high levels of safety and efficacy than chemotherapy, which has very significant side effects. And this treatments that the company are working on may also prevent cancer recurrence. So let's have a look at the key headlines here in terms of their operations. So they have collaboration with Insight Corporation, working with them in terms of the trials. They have Abraya OTS, where they're developing the first shelf personalized immunotherapy for treatment of advanced stage breast cancer. And in November 2020, they announced a cooperative research and development agreement with the National Cancer Institute Center for Cancer Research to investigate novel off-the-shelf personalized therapies for cancer. And finally, at the bottom, we can see they have a small molecule program. These consist of novel selective protein kinase C delta inhibitors, which have shown activity in preclinical models of several cancers and fibrotic diseases. So we're going to have a look at more details about this company and why I think this company could possibly 10x in the medium term. In terms of the market cap is around about $70 million. Shares outstanding around $20 million. So obviously it's possible for a significant squeeze up. However, bearing that in mind, it's also quite a risky penny stock to invest. However, in terms of looking at what's going on with the company, they are involved in a phase 2 biotech stock with patented cancer treatment. The results that are technologically decades ahead of other treatments. So we're going to have a look at some slides shortly. The company have had several promising drugs in the pipeline, outstanding management and researchers, so we're going to look at that as well. So in my opinion, with 1 year, I think this could certainly hit in excess of $20. Long term, if everything goes well in terms of the trials, I can easily see this as a $100 plus stock in the long term. So let's have a look at the experts of the team. So if you have a look at the slide here, the key person of significance is Dr. William Williams. Now, Dr. William Williams is on the Brightcell team. This person who has got a significant record here, we can see he's involved in 11 drugs that have been approved in his career, and that's very significant because it's very, very difficult to get drug approval in the US, especially as you have to go through phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3 trials, which quite take a significant amount of time. One thing I'd like to draw your attention to, which I think was very, very interesting when looking at the balance sheet from 2020 to 2021, there's a very, very significant change in terms of cash held. So at 2020 balance sheet, the cash held was around about $24,000, and the cash held at 2021 in the balance sheet is now in excess of $24 million. So that is a huge and very significant increase in cash available to the business from 24,000 to in excess of 24 million. So what this basically means, the company is in a very strong position to carry out the trials. It's in a healthy position to pay off any debts, and gives it a lot more confidence for investors going forward. What now I'd like to draw your attention to is the company's trademark BRI-OTS off-the-shelf personalized immunotherapy. So the company are engineering 15 unique HLA types, and these allow matching of over 99% of patients with advanced breast cancer treatment. So a simple saliva test is used to determine the HLA type of each patient. Patients are then treated with the appropriate pre-manufactured BRI-OTS formulation. Simple cell lines are developed for prostate cancer, lung cancer and melanoma, and pre-clinical cooperative research and development agreement is in place with the National Cancer Institute of the USA to investigate the BRI-OTS mechanism of action. So this is going to be a potential huge catalyst in the future. So this approach that the company is using allows personalized treatment without the need for personalized manufacturing. It saves time, it skips expensive and complicated manufacturing procedures associated with other personalized immunotherapy treatments. So this is potentially a huge catalyst in the future that could generate an excellent squeeze in the stock. So let's now have a look at this patented immunotherapy BRI-IMT. So if you have a look at the screen here, the BRI-IMT trademark was developed from a breast cancer cell line. It's patented USPTO immunotherapy approach that directly stimulates the body's own cancer-fighting cells to attack and destroy cancer tumors. So certainly the principles look good. I'm not going to try and explain the scientific diagram there, but basically what's going on here is the company believes that this BRI-IMT is going to produce antigens, and these are proteins made by breast cancer cells. It's going to boost the immune response system. It's going to then be presented with cells known for tumor destruction, and then finally directly stimulate cancer-fighting T cells, further boosting the response. So overall, an excellent potential here for this BRI-IMT. Let's now have a look at a very significant breakthrough that the BRI-IMT immune checkpoint inhibitor achieved with one patient. If you look at the screen here, there was a tumor behind the left eye causing proposis completely resolved. So you see on the left there was a red arrow that indicates where the tumor was. On the right image you can see that the tumor has gone. So this treatment was based on 6 months. So this is quite remarkable because obviously this gives the treatment huge potential, even though it was for one patient, and the potential certainly looks good. Let's now continue with looking at this BRI-IMT grade 1 and grade 2 with regard to tumours and the general results that they've had. So in terms of breast cancer, they're looking at 40% of recurrent breast cancer are grade 1 and 2. The monotherapy study is looking at a clinical benefit of around about 71% when patients were working with immune responses. Patients were very heavily pre-treated, median in terms of a 7. Combination study, we're looking at 3 out of 3 patients, 100% responded with a clinical benefit. That's in the combination study. So the overall median study survival of 12.5 months. So that's positive news. So the conclusion at the bottom, they believe the findings identify a patient population with higher clinical benefit rates. I'm going to finish off now by having a look at the technical rating. So the technical rating for BCTX overall is regarded as a 4. The short term is neutral. The long term trend is still positive. Nothing really significant to worry about with regards to the long term. So as far as I'm concerned, investing in this is going to be a long term play. And the reason for that is I think there is going to be potentially a huge squeeze once there are some breakthroughs in here. So let's have a look at the setup analysis. So the setup analysis is average, and it presents a quality of the setup is not ideal at the moment. However, prices have been consolidating lately and the volatility has been reduced. So what does that mean? So what that basically means, there is a little bit of stability in the price at the moment. We're looking at a support and resistance. Resistance is around about 5.34, support just under 3. I think right now if you can catch this stock around about $4.80-ish, this could be certainly a good investment for the long term in anticipation for a potential squeeze. Due to an extended stock analysis, the next trading lesson will be in the next video. Thank you very much for joining me. Please stay tuned.